Thank you for staying with us. We are still talking about, the controversy that has been trailing Minister Wike, moving around with his sons, to official meetings, the latest the Asian Pacific meeting that was held outside of the country, and he went there with his sons, actually, and the sons were even bearing tax. So one can safely say, at least as it was shown in the pictures earlier, that means they were registered as part of the team, and one would say, in what capacity were they registered? We have been speaking with Ladi Jalabi, still here with us, and then we have been joined by public affairs analyst, and he's a politician. So I'd like to ask him, because Mr. Wike is a politician as well, and so does this really matter? Is it about the optics? Or, or is it about the fact that Nigerians are saying you are gallivanting around the world with their family members? And not just Wike, remember, the president and his sons have been accused of the same thing at some point, some other individual. There are some states in which the state governors as well move around with their family members in official capacities. These are the issues. And we have been joined by Mr. Siaka Babatunde Gbadamosi. He joins us virtually. Good morning, sir. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning, Femi. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you very much. Straight to the point, Mr. Gbadamosi, what's your impression of this controversy and why the people have been blasting Minister Wike for doing too much?
Okay, thank you very much. I really do not see controversy here. I see some media houses or bloggers trying to draw attention for me to something I do not really think is really of that significance. One of the things I am clear about in terms of the way the civil service operates or the public service operate is that your relatives or your relations do not have any kind of privilege in terms of your official duty. They cannot be assigned any official role. They cannot be they cannot get DTA or flight ticket or any kind of allowances that is accruing to a public servant. So I do see Wike's travel with his son as maybe for the children a tourist or a tourist thing, or maybe an exposure, But one of the things you mentioned earlier about having tags, the point is this: you must question what kind of tags are they wearing. Are they wearing tags as delegates and as official delegates of Nigeria? You must also look at in the traveling itinerary, what were they scheduled to be? Are they representing Nigeria in any capacity? So all of these are things that we need to look at first before we start to make so much about it. For me, I think Nyesom Wike must know enough to understand that these things could attract a lot of backlash and even official sanction if actually his children are going with him in official capacity.
Right. If I get you correctly, you started by saying maybe some media houses and bloggers are the one trying to call attention, meaning maybe this is not really a big deal, if I get you correctly. Is that what you say?
Well, what I'm saying is, yes, it's not really something we should bother ourselves about, except where these children we are talking about, these boys we are talking about, are traveling in official capacity. If they are traveling in official capacity and they are sponsored by state funds and they are given DTA and there is something to prove in black and white to say that they have been enrolled as officials of the Federal Republic of Nigeria representing or as delegates, then it becomes an issue. But if, just like I've read the story, I've not really seen anything tangible in the story as in any concrete fact. What I've seen is that, well, they are wearing tags. They could be wearing any tag. They went with their father. Yes, they could travel with their father. So all right, that's the point I'm making.
All right. My producer.
If a government official gets his relations, yes, please.
All right. I will have my producer put up that picture where they are wearing tags. I hope we can get it right now. I think it's the other one, and where they are being introduced, the father is introducing the children, and then you get to see yourself what I'm talking about. I think we had one of those pictures earlier, you know, where the two sons were standing with their father. Excuse me. And then that is what Nigerians are saying, in what capacity are they doing this? If you watch the video going on your screen right now, and there you go, you know, at this particular meeting in Dubai, yeah, I think this particular one, they are bearing almost the same tag as their father. If you can take a look at it, and they are asking, in what capacity? Now, for the optics, is he right? Are civils, are families of public office holders supposed to be traveling with them? There was a particular situation, even here in Nigeria, in Abuja, where the minister was supervising some of the ongoing works in official capacity, and you see his children follow him there. Don't you think the optics is bad, especially coming in the time where Nigeria, as a nation, is talking about austerity, where people are being taxed, where many persons cannot really feed fine, where we keep borrowing? I think you need to see the angle of some persons, not just, you know, from the place of an elite, to see, and some are saying, all of these monies, all of these things that we are laying our hands upon, is this what they are using it for? So if Nigerians are frowning, to say, let your children sit at home. If you want to go on vacation, go on vacation. If you want to have daddy children time, do that. If you want to fly around the world during your private time, you can do all of that. But when you are in the business of the government, serious business of the government, what are your children doing there? Don't you see from that angle?
Okay, yes, I want to agree with you. Yes, the optics might not be looking good. Okay. So because in this part of the world, we always give attention to some of the things. And I think also that Nyesom Wike, knowing the environment we find ourselves, I think shouldn't be playing this kind of I think it's not good for the optics, it's not good for the but I stand on the fact that I want to see concrete evidence to say that these children or these boys are in official capacity. If they are, then Minister Wike will be culpable for violating some basic, some laid down procedures of the public service rules. So, but other than that, I don't see anything really wrong. I think the minister getting his family members involved in a government affairs or maybe in official duties is not a thing that looks good. I agree with that fact. I think he should get his job done and do it properly. But you see, when we are in this part of the world, let's also take it a bit further. We have seen leaders who have involved their family members in maybe their activities, they're going out and all of that. We've seen it in the President of the United States, who involved his in-law, his daughter, his son in so many government official activities. We've seen it in the Saudi Arabian kingdom, prince and crown prince. We've seen it in Qatar. We've seen it in many other parts of the world. We've even seen it in Nigeria here, where the president virtually travels all the time with his son and all of that. But my point is this: if the state is funding this trip and is funding their trip, as what are they being funded? That is one. Then two, are they getting what you call the DTA and all the benefits that is accruing to officials who go on such a program? All of these are things that will make the minister be culpable if we are now digging into it. But for the optics, I do agree with you that the optics are not good.
Now, talking about culpability, because you are saying we should wait for proof actually to show that yes, their trip is being sponsored by the state. But Nigerians will say, what more proof do you need? You could see the appearance, you could see the tags on their neck, you could see the introduction, and one will say the culpability. Who will actually do that? Is it the president that his own children or his own son has been part of his business as well? So who would do that in Nigeria? And whenever these things happen, we easily connect it with somebody that have done it in the past, do it in the past. And in the US, for an example, that maybe, you know, there are two contests here. When family members are appointed into government in different capacity, that's one. There is the part of having them flock around in official capacity, and we understand, even in the US, there are some things that the state pay for. There are some things that, like you haven't guessed, that are not official capacity, you get to pay for, even if you are the Mr. President or not. They have a system in a kind of way that check these things. But in Nigeria, it's almost non-existent. So you are talking about culpability. Who will call Mr. Wike to order? Is it Mr. President?
Well, I disagree with you that in Nigeria we do not have a system that could check some of these things. We do.
Do we?
Because I just told you now that in the public service system, you have procedure in terms of when people are going on such a trip, in what capacity are they going. You see, there is what you call the approval manifest for those that are officially delegated to go on this trip. Are those children's names, are those boys' names in that manifest? Did they get DTA? Did they get flight tickets from the state? If they did, the Minister Wike would be liable to some kind of prosecution or punishment.
But in here, if actually they don't have one of those clearances, is it possible that they would travel to Dubai with their father and they don't have all of those things, and it's their father that is paying for them on the same flight? This is Nigeria.
Well, the father would have to pay for them because they are not agents of the state in any capacity that I know of. So if they are not agents of the state, then the father would have to pay for them, take care of their flight, take care of their accommodation and all of that. It is not the business of the state to do that.
Yeah, we
if
understand.
One dime,
Mr. Gbadamosi, we understand that's not the business of the state to do that. But, you know, let's take a cue from what the spokesperson for Minister Wike said, Larry Olayinka, where this conversation was going on in the public space. Do you know what he said? He said, when is your turn? Travel with your enemy. What does that connote? It means we have done this, we are going to do it again. When you have the time to do your own, do it your own way. That's coming from someone who speaks for a federal minister. So where does that leave the people?
Mr. Larry Olayinka is brazen, and I don't think he's acting accordingly. He's not acting like a proper public servant. As a public servant, I think what he has said is only good for the social media. If he's being queried or questioned in his capacity as a spokesperson for the minister, he has a duty to explain these things to the people. And he shouldn't go around saying things like he has said. I think what he said should be discountenanced, and then it should be held to account. Because if you address people like that, this is state funds we are talking about, and the people have a right to know, they have a right to query, and you have a duty to explain.
All right.
So I would say Mr. Olayinka did not do the right thing.
Yeah, before I come to the studio now, one would say he's speaking with a boss who have not reprimanded him for that. That means he's speaking the mind of his boss. Because Nigerians will say it's because they don't care. They don't care whatever you think. Whatever you are going to do, he's saying, when is your turn? Do it your own way. Invite your enemy. But for now, what it means is we are the one in power. And he's speaking for his Oga. And we have not heard his Oga say, no, don't say that. Doesn't this speak so much about how the public officials see the rest of us in Nigeria?
Now, the point is this. For me, what Mr. Olayinka has done is very unprofessional. He has shown that he doesn't understand his duties and what he's supposed to do. He's supposed to speak for the minister and not go around throwing tantrums at people.
Has he not spoken for the minister?
These are legitimate queries. These queries are queries that are supposed to be answered by the minister or his spokesperson. So saying what he has said is unacceptable. And if you ask who is going to query the minister, the president will query the minister. And it is the job of the media, like we are doing now, to scrutinize, to query, to question what the minister is doing, and whether it is state funds that we are using to sponsor those kids of his to those programs, which would be most unacceptable and be a contravention of the public service rule.
All right, I'll come back to you. Ladeji, you heard Mr. Gbadamosi say we need a proof, you know, before, and if actually it is proven that yes, they traveled on state fund, then it is unacceptable. But Nigerians will say, what more proof do we need?
Well, Femi, I must say sincerely that we joke a lot in this country. Well, history taught me that we should look at events of yesterday, use it to drive today's activities and prepare for the future. And I've mentioned it on this show that if you look at trajectory of things Minister Wike has done over the years, I want to believe, yes, there are no anything in black and white paper that we have now, but everything about this event points that those boys went on public fund. You see the tag on their neck, and even what the spokesperson of the minister said, we've done it, do whatever you want to do. Okay, now, so let's agree without conceding that those boys went on their father's fund. The meeting of board of directors of FCTA, FCDA, that his boy was there with them, he took pictures with them, was that also not proven enough? What was he doing in a meeting of directors, public servants? Now, again, my grouse with this, I don't have issues if you are traveling with your kids on excursion or whatever. But don't do it at the expense of public servants, civil servants, who also need these things for their growth at work. There are directors in FCT ministry who need this trip to interact with other directors from around the world to see how they can share ideas. But if you choose to, put the name of your family members because of this and because they are close to you and you put them there, you have done something wrong. And then the question of who is going to question Minister Wike? When document came out to show that Mr. Wike was giving landed property to his children in Abuja, who questioned him? Allegedly, Omoyele Sowore has shown Mr. Wike has bought properties in United States of America worth millions of dollars, whatever. Who has questioned him? Has anything been said about it? Right. Nothing. So nobody is questioning anybody. Forget. This na party government. You rub my back, I rub your back. Because I need in 2027 for you to help me hold grip on Rivers State. That's the reality. And he also needs me to do some other things for him. That is party government. That's what you think. That's what I feel. And that is what these two men have been doing. And I've said it earlier on, that Wike did not just started doing this. Yes, I like the fact that you mentioned it, that there are some other governors who do these things too. It is wrong. Whichever party you belong to, whoever you are. That's what
leads me to the next question. Are Nigerians not unnecessarily picking on Minister Wike, maybe because of his personality, his verbose lifestyle, and because he talks a lot, that there are many persons doing these things? Why is Minister Wike always on people's business?
Femi,
inside people's business.
He also wants to be in people's business. How many of the ministers go about every month, do media pally? Attack this one, attack that one, attack this one, attack that one. How many of the ministers? Do you see Wale don't just go on media pally? This man in the Ministry of Interior, who is even doing wonderful job there, Tunji Ojo, do you see him just go about, talk anyhow? No. It is Wike who opens himself and he wants to criticize everybody. He is the one who will criticize people in PDP, still talk about this and that. This man said APC is a cancer now, that I would rather stay with PDP, who is a malaria. But he's now in, I don't know if I don't pray he does have cancer, but he's now with the people who said cancerous. So he is the one who called this thing. Again, I want to mention that whichever party you belong to, whoever you are as a governor, that you travel with your family members on public funds, you are doing what is not good. It is wrong, whichever way you want to look at it from. If you guys have a private family meeting that you want to go on, you want to fund yourself, all well and good. But in the name of you are going to the United Nations General Assembly, I'm representing my state, and you have maybe people in the, in the ministry who are meant to go with you, and instead of going with those people, or you have partners that you've, arranged that you want to have meeting with, you have your Commissioner of Commerce, Commissioner of Trade and Industry, and there are people you are meant to travel, but because you don't want to go with them, you added your family members. Right. You are a corrupt person. All right. You are a corrupt person. There is no two way about it for me. You are a corrupt person.
Let me go back to Mr. Gbadamosi. Now, two things for me, Mr. Gbadamosi. Number one is this. Apart from flights, maybe abroad flights and all of those things, how about seeing family members in business meetings of the state? Is that proper, actually? This is not even about who is paying for what flight. Let's say in Nigeria, You have a meeting at the time. I was saying Sheyi Tinubu was seen at the cabinet meeting. The father had to say that should stop. But then when there are business of the state, sometimes in kind of way, you still see him there. There are, this same Minister Wike, meetings are being held, you know, one or two things that are supposed to be serious business of the SCT, serious business of the state, and you see politicians and their children in those meetings, not just taking pictures. Sometimes they're there. Is that proper, actually?
Okay, thank you very much. I think, like you mentioned earlier, the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, has set a standard and has made it clear that you cannot make your official duties a family affair. And he set that example when he made it clear that his son cannot be part of the Federal Executive Council meeting. And I mean, you don't need to say that really, but having said that, I think that should go for every other public servant. That's on the one side. Then on the other side, I think people like Minister Wike have a lot of people around who for one reason or the other, wants to take on him for one thing, reason or the other, and he's not shying away from it. Somebody like Larry Olayinka has been more of an attack PR person. I don't see him, for me, I don't see him as a spokesperson per se in terms of what you call the official capacity of a spokesperson. Because when you do that job, you have to adopt a lot of decorum, you have to adopt a lot of civility in your approach, and you must be ready to be accountable to the people when you address issues. Now, one of the things we do, most of us, especially with the age of social media today, is that we do a lot of generalization because we have seen tags, we have seen family members along. We assume that XYZ has happened. State funds are being used and all of that. And for me, I think for us to do the right thing in this part of the world, the media must hold public servants accountable, like we are doing now. And public servants have a duty to explain. And if and when they have found caught people, we cannot afford to spare them. We'll deal with them. We'll make sure they face the full wrath of the law. But before that, we cannot, based on assumptions, be saying that the state funds are being used and all of that.
Mr. Gbadamosi,
I think that's the dangerous part.
The second leg of my question is this. I mean, not even about flights alone. I'm talking about states. Let's imagine we're having a business of the state meetings with stakeholders, with businessmen, with directors, and you have the sons, the family members of these public office holders. This is not even about flight. This is not about international trip. You are having a business of the state, and your sons are there. Is that right? In which capacity?
No, it's not. No, it's not right. It's not right. That is not how civil service proceed. That is not how public service proceed. What you have is in every meeting, everybody is designated, whether by virtue of the office the person occupies or a particular duty is supposed to execute, to be at the meeting, but not as a relative. You see, when we don't adopt some of these things, we break basic protocols, and these protocols are meant for a particular purpose, so as not to make government business trivial in such a way that every other person can have access to them. So for me, it is wrong. It is not appropriate for you to have relative and families of public office holder in meetings where they are not supposed to be and where they are not officially supposed to be. It is very wrong. And I think such a public officer should be called to book.
Now, if you now see governors doing that, who will call a governor to order? That's the question. And number two, let me ask this question, the second leg. When you have family members, either uncles, cousins, wives in the family, being appointed in official capacity. Now, this is not just hang-ons. They are now given a role to play in a particular government. What does that say? Because now, even the office of the First Lady, constitutionally speaking, is not recognized by our laws. But now it has become a convention. Every wife of an executive has an office. That's the way it is done. Now, in Osun State, some people have been talking about how almost all the Adeleke's in a kind of way have one role or the other to play, either as a local government service commission chairman, either as a commissioner in a kind of way. Latest is Davido, you know, the Afrobeat superstar David Adeleke being appointed as the chairman of Osun Sport Trust Fund. And some are saying that kind of a position is to use his connection to bring money because it's a trust fund. Some are saying, oh, they have found a way to give one of their sons something to eat. What do you say about that?
Okay. First, let's be clear about the two issues you raised. Yes. Starting with the last one. Having family members of maybe elected people, elected officials in position in one capacity or the other in government, for me, it's not anything that is out of place per se. It's only the question I ask is, does this person has a competence? What is the scope of duty? Can you deliver? The fact that you are a relation to an appointed or elected official does not preclude you from having occupying a position for which you are competent to occupy. But then we must dose it with a measure of sanity, really, because if you are having 2, 3, 4, 5 members of one family being in different various positions, then you are beginning to have a situation whereby it's not acceptable. Then you can now start talking about, no, it's not the family business. In official capacity, yes, we can see them in official capacity, and then we can hold them responsible. Talking about Davido, for me, let him occupy the office, but the media must hold him to account, because now he's no longer a private person. He's now a public officer. And when he's occupying this seat, we want to know what he's doing, how he's doing it, what money is he bringing into the system, what benefits is he contributing to the system. Right. And all of these are things that we should be able to scrutinize to get the best out of it. If maybe in appointing him, he has improved the lot of that commission, then that's good for the commission and that's good for the state. Right. But if he doesn't have the competence, then that's a different kettle of fish, and we should do away with it. Then we can now tell the governor that you have done the wrong thing.
All right. Now, before I let you go, your part in short here this morning, I want you to speak to this issue, because there is a way this thing makes many persons angry, especially when politicians appear reckless, like they feel it's my money, I'm the one in power. And so they put their business in people's faces. And you are talking about the people that you are telling that the policies of the government is this and that, and then, you know, the pain will soon go away. They should endure. They should do this. They should do that. And many persons are in pain already, and they are just looking at public officials, you know, going around gallivanting, having convocations for their children abroad, taking pictures, uploading, and the minister saying, why my enemies are crying, I will be there drinking a 40-year cognac. And all of these things, there's a way it makes many persons feel uncomfortable, and they are angry at the system. That even if those persons that are in power, if it appears like they are working, people will not want to hear. How do we balance that, especially people in office?
Well, it's not about balancing it. I think it behooves of the president and commander-in-chief to call all of his appointees to order. The optics are not good for the government, where we have relatives of appointed or elected officials flocking around them, whether in unofficial or even official capacity. I think these are things that should be addressed by the government. These are things that should be addressed by the officials, because Nigerians are watching. And you see, the impression you are giving the people is that, look, we can do whatever we want and we don't care. And that is why, for me, I think Mr. Lere Olayinka should be reprimanded. He ought to be reprimanded, or maybe given some kind of excuse from the position. That is not how to represent your principal and speaks for your principal. Right. You are in a position where you have a duty to explain to the public exactly what is happening and tell them how your principal is getting the work of state done properly according to the stated guidelines and rules, and not through tantrums and insult at people.
Right.
So for me, I think it behoves on the president and all those who occupy executive offices to be able to curb this. We cannot have a situation whereby we're rubbing salt on injury for Nigerians,
all right,
where things are this difficult, and then you're now having people traveling and gallivanting all over the place, and they're giving Nigerians reason to start speculating and thinking that this is happening or that is happening.
Thank you very much, Babatunde Siaka Gbadamosi, Public Affairs Analyst and Politician. Thank you for your time and your take, and I wish you a very good weekend.
Many thanks for having me. Thank you. Do have a great weekend.
Yeah, Ladiji, I'll take your last take on this matter as well. You've had Mr. Gbadamosi, but Nigerians, many of them, especially, the reality is many Nigerians are angry. They are angry. In fact, because of the situation of things. But when you want, if it's Wike or Mr. President or the First Lady or Seyi Tinubu or the Adelekas or anybody, behaving in a kind of way like this, what do you think? If you are to have a one-on-one with these public office holders, what will you be telling them?
Well, Femi, let me start by saying this, that I have my serious fears for Nigeria.
Yeah.
Even if things want to go wrong, we have people, we have a way of people trying to make sense out of it.
Right.
Again, Nigerians have every right. It is Wike's place to now come outside and prove that these boys did not travel with me on public phone.
Right.
You are taxing us.
So he owes Nigerians.
He owes Nigerians. You want me to believe a Wike who stopped River State student on foreign scholarship and sent his own kids on scholarship? You want me to believe him? No, it's not possible. It is not possible. So whatever way we want to, and these are the fears we have. We have leaders in Africa. I'm just reading now, the president of Djibouti, who came to power since 1999 or thereabout. He's seeking another 6th term as president. And even his National Assembly shifted the law to say the age limit to contest presidency in Djibouti is 75. But they say no. We are opening it up for you. These are the tendencies that leaders in Nigeria has.
So we need to owes Nigerians.
He owes Nigerians an explanation. And again, whatever way you want to look at it from, what is wrong is wrong. You don't travel with your family member. You don't give business contract. Any contract you want to dish out that your family members are also trying to, bid for it.
Right.
Let it be as open as possible.
Yeah.
Yes, there is nobody that says Tinubu cannot take a contract from him. If he's so qualified, let him take. But make it
must be open
bid. But if you are dishing out a contract of 15 trillion naira and you are just giving it out to somebody that your son has interest in, it is corruption. There is no way you want to sugarcoat it. I think we, the learned people in Nigeria, need to be careful because most of the time we use English, big grammars to defend the government at the expense of the citizens, and it is not good.
It is not good, especially when those contracts runs into trillions and they are being given based on what the Minister of Works called. It was given to an experienced person because that company has done it before. That's not the way to work.
And he's a professor in practice.
In the public service, everything should be open. I must sincerely thank you, Ladiji.
It's a pleasure.
But before we go, yesterday was a harvest of awards, the annual NUJ Awards, the 2025, where many of our people bagged so many awards for the night. And there you go on the screen. And yours truly, Femi Ojo, by God's grace and divine providence, was part of those awarded on the day as the best newscaster in Osun State TV category. I'll just allow us to have a look at how the day went.
The best radio station of the year, the best radio station of the year goes to Ref FM Osogbo, Ref FM Osogbo. The best television station of the year, Western Spring Television Osogbo. The reporter of the year goes to Tobi Sanusi of Ref FM Osogbo. Tobi Sanusi. Congratulations to you. Congratulations to you. Congratulations. Congratulations. And the best newscaster of the year goes to Femi Ojo of Ref FM. Put your hands together for him, Femi Ojo, Ref FM. Best TV newscaster of the year.
All right, and the best TV newscaster of the year, Femi Ojo. It's quite nice, actually. It's good to have. And, you know, shout out to everyone, especially to the editors. They are the ones who compile whatever we read. And I was giving a good shout out to them. The editors in print, the editors and the visuals, everybody, the director on duty, producer, everybody. This one is for you. And of course, dedicated to my wife as well. So, all right. We'll see you. We log out on a high. This week, we log it out on a high for October. The next time you are going to be meeting me and meeting us will be in the new month. And I wish us a very nice and great month ahead. Femi Ojo, and of course the cameramen, those outside, those inside, everybody. I'm almost been ambushed this morning. Femi Ojo is my name. I'll see you next month.